When you think of Disney music, you're most likely going to be thinking of The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, or Hercules. But what has all of that got to do with this guy?
Start to crumble whenever they try to shut me or cut me down. I won't stay silent.
Born in July 1949, Alan Menken grew up in a family that loved musical theatre, so he began learning the piano from a very early age. But while he was doing his piano lessons, instead of learning the songs as they should have been or as they were, he took the fundamentals of the songs and built upon them to make his own tracks. And he continues doing stuff here and there, composing songs and just generally being a musical person, until he struck gold in 1982. The Little Shop of Horrors, with music by Alan Menken and lyrics and screenplay by the late Howard Ashman, brought the two into the spotlight and gave them a lot of attention. With one of the companies that was giving them attention being Disney, Disney's decided to bring them on board after seeing how successful they were with the Little Shop of Horrors, and hired them to make the music and the lyrics for their newest Disney film, The Little Mermaid.
I want to be where the people are.
And you all know The Little Mermaid. I don't need to tell you how successful that was and how it basically started the Renaissance era. But yeah, it was very successful and it basically started the Renaissance era. And so started Alan Menken's path to winning 8 Oscars, 11 Grammys, and a Razzie Award for Worst Musical Song. And yes, that's something that actually exists. You can literally win a trophy for the worst song in a particular year. But obviously that was the exception. Alan Menken went on to make some of Disney's biggest songs, with the only real exception probably being this little gem here. Which wasn't done by him. It was actually done by Tim Rice, Hans Zimmer, and of course Elton John. But unfortunately, Howard Ashman didn't live to see Alan Menken's future achievements because he unfortunately passed away before he got to see Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin release, even though he had worked on both of those. And the sad thing is that I'm almost certain if he didn't pass away that he would have been just as big as Alan Menken because he was a truly talented lyricist. But yeah, even though Howard did pass away, Alan did continue to make great songs, but that's not just by coincidence. He knew what he was doing. Alan considered the music to be kind of like vocabulary. He used music to communicate place and some certain objects or certain sounds, such as the sound of water.
Don't see how a world that makes such wonderful things could be bad.
And just basically set the scene through the music. With all of these sounds working to make a track that just makes the viewer feel comfortable, as if they're slipping into a warm bath, according to Tim Page. But one of the things that really stands out about what Alan Menken does to me is that he kind of uses the music in the background of the songs as kind of like a backing track to the people singing.
Riff-raff, straight rat, scoundrel, take that!
This helps to add depth to songs without having to rely on layering up voices or having backing singers, which obviously wouldn't work when Jasmine and Aladdin are flying around on a magic carpet. And on top of that, Menken adds in syncopation, but don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It basically just means that a certain phrase repeats, but something changes for the second time it repeats.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
And the thing is, even rest, or basically just having a gap after a note, even that works as syncopation, and that will make the song sound more interesting. And talking about repetition itself is just great to have in songs because it helps to get the song stuck in people's minds, and people generally just like repetition. And even when you're talking about general songs, for the most part they're packed with repetition. So while Menken doesn't do as much repetition as in a modern day pop song, he does do a lot, and he does it through a lot of different methods, such as I said before, syncopation, but he also uses motifs, and what motifs are basically a set of notes that kind of repeat throughout the entirety of the song.
How can I protect you, boy, unless you always stay?
Heedless of the gift it is to be them. If I was in their skin,
You can basically think of it this way. If you think of a song, pretty much any song, the part of the song that you're probably going to be humming in your head, that doesn't even make sense. The part of the song that's probably going to come to mind is the motif bit. That bit repeats again and again and again in the music and within the entire film for the most part, and gets stuck in your head and is what kind of helps you to latch onto the song. So yeah, basically parts of the sound that play over and over and help the song to get latched into your brain so you cannot forget about it for ages.
daydream. All those years living in a blur.
Oh God, it's so good.
And that happens until the end of the song where you get the explosion, which is totally an official term. But anyway, the whatever you want to call it happens at the end of the song, and the motif repeats again, which is kind of like a little thing at the end of the video to tell you this is what you're missing when the song's finished. Maybe you should listen to it again and, I don't know, give me more Spotify money. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Alan Menken uses to get these songs stuck in your head. He also just chooses great instruments to put in the music and knows how to kind of make them work together and stuff like that. But really, you can't just pin the success of music on one person. It's no secret that Alan Menken has worked with some great artists over the years. For example, in the new Aladdin, he said that
Will Smith came in and just made it his own, and I just went, okay, let's go, man, and let me just support what he did with the arrangement.
and chances are, if he wasn't working with Will Smith, they would have come out a lot differently. Because one thing about Alan Menken is he loves collaborating with other people, and he doesn't get too attached to his music. He's totally fine to throw away tracks if they don't work, or rewrite them from scratch, just to make sure that they are as perfect as possible. A big part of why Disney music is so great is because people are willing to work on it together and bounce ideas off each other, and not put something out if it's bad, and totally rewrite stuff. And yeah, that's what makes it great, because the end result is obviously an accumulation of work over time and of trial and error, which Alan Menken does a lot of, until something is just right and the diamond is polished. So yeah, that's my little kind of basic guide or deep dive or whatever you want to call it into Disney music and what makes it catchy. If you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to let me know down in the comment section down below. If you want me to go into a bit more depth in these videos, be sure to let me know in the comments down below too. I tried to simplify this as much as possible and not just throw a whole load of terminology out at you. But I did research that and I do know some of the other terminology, so if you want to see that in the videos, let me know. But anyway, there's going to be all the sources in the description down below, so you can go to those and learn more about music theory if you want to. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in a future video that should hopefully be coming pretty soon. Bye.